All right, this is Number Corner December. Here are Bridges' recommendations. In bold are our major hitters. And down here are my thoughts on those. So calendar grid, you are hitting up some fractional amounts based on a square. So like in the 1st of December, it's going to be half of a square. So we have the fraction 1/2. And then the next day we have 2 halves, which make 1 whole square. So that's why over here in the calendar grid observation, you have a half plus a half equals 2 halves, which equals 1. So you'll get to do that each day if we're here. Or if you're gonna try to incorporate some of this during a Google Meet session if we were remote. Fraction comparisons between cards as the day goes onward. So like you could compare and take out 2 of these cards and make a comparison statement. So I could look at 1/3 and compare it to 1/6 and realize which one's bigger and which one's smaller and use some of those inequality signs. And then by the final week before we go to Christmas, find some equivalent fractions in there. So like 1/2 is the same chunk as 2/4. Okay. So that's it for calendar grid. That's a major hitter with fractions. And then calendar collector, this is when you're collecting items and finding that mass. And there are 2 options here. First option is the one you'll see in your Bridges binder for Number Corner, where you're trying to collect objects every day, and at the end of the month, you're trying to get as close as you possibly can to 1,000 grams or 1 kilogram. Or scratch that and do option 2. I personally like this option better. I would do this myself. Instead of having a 1,000 gram at the end of the month, why not just weigh something every day and get as close as you can to a certain mass? Like today, let's try and find something as close as we can get to 1 gram, or maybe 5 grams, or maybe 10 grams, or maybe we're going 100 grams, or maybe we're going 1,000 grams today. Like, can we find something that's close to 1 kilogram, or maybe half of a kilogram, or 500 grams? Okay, get the idea. And I just say here, just keep getting experiences using the scale to find the mass of all sorts of objects. And before you even find the mass, you could estimate what you think it's gonna be based on what you already did the days before. And then on the record sheet, you could just keep track of what you weigh each day, so that they can base their next estimate on those. So I feel like option 2 is just easier and kind of more fun. Then you have number line. Number line is about rounding again. So you rounded in Number Corner for November to the closest 10, and you also did that before you went for Thanksgiving. And now this is rounding to the nearest 100. So it's the same game, but now you're rolling 3 dice, form a 3-digit number, and claim your spot on the number line. I was advising here, instead of playing multiple rounds until all the numbers are gone on the number line, you could just do 1 round where you just roll and you get 1 number, claim a spot. They roll, they claim a spot, and then you roll the more or less dice. Or maybe you just have it on 2 pieces of paper, more, less, and a kid picks one. Oh, it's more today. Guess who won? Whoever was farther along on the number line won today. And then down here I said you could just have the kids, if you want them to be involved in writing stuff, they could write a quick number line to 1,000 by 100s on their whiteboard and keep track of the game and place the 2 numbers on there. Or they could make use of the number line piece or the number pieces app. And once you roll the dice and find your 3-digit number, they would make the number using number pieces. So I'd say, let's say I have 300, or no, I'm going to make it smaller. 221. And I need to go to the nearest 100. Well, I'm going to look at what I have left over and say, is that close to being another 100? No. So this is closest to 200 than it is to 300. So I'm going to say I would get 200 for that. Okay, so that's all there is for Number Corner, and enjoy the month of December.